we stop there first, let's bring up the files, load up the packet tracer. Okay, when are you going to start? Okay, I want you to use an activity here, right? We've got some sort of part-time packet tracer activity on the board. We're going to use this for checks from time to time. Okay, that's your first objective. So you're going down to task 1. Okay, and I'm going to read out the sheet. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. What are we going through now is going through task number 1. She's going to configure R1 on CLI, and she's going to enable Ipv6 unicast routing on R1 using a simple command. Ipv6 unicast routing.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, let's get through this, please. We're behind time a bit. So right now, she's going to enable the Ipv6 unicast routing by entering the command Ipv6 unicast. Just use the tab, well done, and you want that on unicast routing. Yes, that's fine. Hit that command. You move to step number 2. Still on R1. She's going to go on the serial interface of S00. You can see the connections there. And she's going to configure an extended unique IP address, EUI, 64 bits network portion, 64-bit host. So interface S600, you enter the command, I'll just guide you through. Enter the command Ipv6 address 2001 hex colon 410 colon 1 colon 10 double colon and /65 space EUI 60 EUI hyphen 64 hyphen 64. That is a representation. What we're seeing there is a representation of Ipv6 address with the extended unique identifier, 64 bits representing the network portion. Can you hit the return key, Mama, please? Address is taken. Next, she wants to configure Ipv6 process, read process. So Ipv6, Mama, please, space, read. She starts a process, space, uppercase process, preferably, because that's a name for a process. One. The one word, and space, enable. She's just enabled the routing process of Ipv6. Next, she would like to apply a clock rate, because we have a serial connection between two routers. We have a clock rate of 64000. Next, she wants to fire the interface up, no shutdown. Okay, you're on the 0 there, Mona. Now, clock rate, separate words, please.
Was it
Yes.
3 zeros?
Yeah, 3 zeros, please. I'm just going to bring the interface up. No shutdown, please. No shut will do. Exit. Interface is up. She wants to check result.
No, it says a state to down.
It's okay, because we need to configure the other side, because it's a serial link, okay? What we need to do next, I just want you to verify, go to the list and check results. Go back to that list. You know that little file on the side? There's a little file on the side. Yes. I want you to go check results. Right at the bottom. Just right at the bottom. Top. Bottom. Right there. Just check results.
Sorry,
Okay. This activity is incomplete. That's fine. We're okay where we are. Look at the assessment items. Now we go on to task number 2. You're going to configure R2. Okay, so I'm going to go through that. So you're going to configure R2. If you click on router 2, please.
Where did my router go?
That's okay. Just drag it to the line. Scroll to the top.
Might have to close the...
Close
that. Okay, that's
Oh,
fine.
here you go.
Okay, click on R2, please. She's now going to configure router R2, same sort of scenario. Just as we configured R1 to support Ipv6, we're going to do exactly the same. So on R2, we first need to enable Ipv6 unicast routing in the configure mode. Tap that. Okay, you're fine. Ipv6 go to the serial interface of R2 to connect the same setup, interface serial 0/0. She would now apply an IP address of 20001. We got that wrong. Oh yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry. 2001:410 1://65 EUI-64. Okay, hit return key address is fine. She's going to apply IPv6 routing process, which is RIP next generation. So IPv6 space RIP space uppercase process of uppercase process 1 space enable. So what she's doing there, she's enabled RIP next generation to start running on that particular router. Bring up the interface, please, no shot.
Yeah, you got it.
You got it? Okay. I want you to do the same to R2's serial 001. Okay. So same on the same router because we have another connection going the other way on R2. On the same router, interface, this time 001. Great. I'd like you to apply the IP address of IPv6 address 2001:40:10:/65 space EUI-64. Hit return, should be fine. Next, you would apply the same process as well, so that we can have the same RIP-NG process going through. So IPv6 RIP space uppercase process 1 enable. Next, we apply the clock rate. It's obvious because 2 routers in between. We've had one interface as the clock rate. The second router would have its own clock rate. So 64000, please. 3 zeros, enter. No shot, bring the interface up. Exit. Daniel, jump on, please. We're going to apply R3. Click on router R3, please. CLI. Drag that down, if you could. Just drag that to the side so we get a visual. A bit more. Okay, great. He's on R3 now. Same scenario completing, configuration mode, IPv6 unit class routing to enable IPv6 routing. And next we want to go to the interface serial. Yes, you're fine. Interface serial 001/0/11111. Got that? And what we want to do next is apply an IPv6 address, IPv6 space address, tab, just tab it helps. Go back. No, you're on autocomplete. Just tab the ad. Okay, next you want to apply 2001:2:10:/65 space EUI extended unique identifier -64. Good. Enable the routing process again. IPv6 space RIP space process uppercase 1 space enable. Routing process enabled. Bring it up, please. No shot. And interfaces are up. Serial links are in place. Okay, what we need to do next is we now need to verify IPv6 configuration R1. So I want you to go back to R1, please. You can route to R1. Right, he's on R1. What I'd like you to do first is go through the verification. And in going through the verification, we're going to use some IPv6 show command. So execute show IPv6 interface brief. Okay, what we can see right away is that we've configured some IPv6 addresses on serial 00. The serial links for R1 connects 2001:410:10:3 hexadecimal address. Fine, but can someone tell me why have we got an FEAT there?
And the unique
Someone from the audience. why have we got an FE80 address alongside a global unicast address? What is that address there? We talked about this in the lecture. FE80s. Sorry? Sorry?
Is that local?
A link local address, that's correct, because you cannot configure an Ipv6 address without a link local address being attached onto the interface. What's the purpose of the link local address? Natalie? You do. What's the purpose of the link local address? Why do you have to have sometimes link local addresses that are site local? It's obvious. Pass. So if you do not have a public address, what happens to the link local? You can communicate on the same subnet. So there's communication irrespective of having a global routing address. Remember what the private addresses used to do for Ipv4? Similar. But the difference here is these addresses do not get NATed outside. Ipv6 originally had what they call site local addresses, which are the same as private addresses for Ipv4. But why introduce private addresses in Ipv6 when the whole idea was to get rid of the private addresses and NAT in 4 in the first place? So the deal is, site local addresses are, are being phased out, even though they were there originally. We can use that. So be aware that link local addresses always start on the FE80s. At the moment, we're being allocated 2001 as public IP addresses. Remember the table we had a look at last time. And these addresses will be unique for every device. Why? If you look at these these hexadecimal values here, these values here would normally be generated as 48 bits from the MAC address itself, right? So it means a machine is able to auto-configure itself by looking at the 64-bit network address, looking at its MAC address, which is unique to the machine itself, 48 bits, append that onto a 16-bit address for the subnet. In that way you have uniqueness. Right, okay, let's move on. We've verified. On R1, only serial 00 displays an Ipv6. To get more information on these addresses, we're going to use the show Ipv6. Next command, please. Interface S00. So we're being specific to have a look more at serial 0 to see what else we can have. Ipv6 together, please. Show Ipv6. Interface. INT. Actually, 5 space INT. Enter. Great. Now we've gone for a bit more specific information about serial 00. It means we can learn a bit more. We can see that 2 links are up. The protocol is up. Line protocol is up, meaning we've got the layer 2 communication type right. PPP, Ethernet, whatever it is. We've got that right. It also tells us that the link local address of FE80 is also available. We've also got the actual global unicast address at the top. Okay, someone tell me, what are these 4 addresses here? Can you remind me? We talked about this in the lecture. What are those 4 addresses? Anything to do with multicasting? Yes. Yeah. Remember, there are going to be scenarios where a device would need to be able to send data to a specific set of routers. Those are multicast addresses for which this particular device belongs to. So in that sense, by default, those are pre-configured as part of the groups that would allow